The Dyatlov Pass Incident is one of the most talked about mysteries. It's been covered various times, and according to some researchers it's been explained. However, those that have looked into the case have found that some things don't seem to add up. It's also been pointed out that Russian investigators are reopening the case. So why are they doing this if it's allegedly been solved? Back in 1959, while the Soviet Union was still hidden behind the Iron Curtain that blocked all information from effectively getting out into the media, or even the rest of the world, a strange incident had occurred that still inspires fear and curiosity in the modern day. Known as the Dyatlov Pass Incident, 9 ski hikers went up into the northern Ural Mountains between the 1st and 2nd of February, in the hopes of conquering that area that was feared by the locals due to superstitions and strange rumours. These hikers hoped that in exploring the region it would put to rest any worries the locals had, and hoped that by doing this it would pave the way for new hikers to visit the area and enjoy the scenic beauty of the region. Unfortunately, this decision would lead to the death of the 9 highly trained and experienced hikers, and would solidify the superstitiousness of the area. On the 26th of February, a rescue team had discovered the group's abandoned and badly damaged tent that had been established on the slopes. The sight seemed perplexing as it became apparent the tent had been cut open from the inside, as if the group had begun panicking and cut through the tent in an effort to get away from something that was attacking them. The bodies of each of the individuals of the group were found in a nearby ravine after following their tracks in the snow, which only led to more mysteries as the majority of the bodies recovered were dressed in only their underwear, as if they ran out into the darkness of the snow without getting first dressed, and then presumably froze to death. As the investigation continued and the bodies of the deceased were put under examination, the theory of hypothermia soon came into question. Medical examiners discovered that each person suffered from internal injuries commonly seen in a car crash, or after a massive amount of pressure and force comes into striking contact with a person. This led many to believe that perhaps the individuals were attacked by a non-human entity, capable of causing such terrible force and leading to their deaths. Unfortunately, this theory and others like it can never be confirmed nor denied. Fast forward to the present day and researchers now want to reopen the case. One thing to note is that it's being moved to the regional branch of the investigative committee. The reason this is happening is because the state prosecutor has asked for documents on the case, and wants to take a closer look at what happened. It was announced that the investigators would soon make their way to the site, and conduct over 9 separate examinations. Although people got excited by this news, hoping that more light would be shed on the case, the official representative of Russia's Prosecutor General said they will only investigate 3 theories, saying the following: all of them are somehow connected with natural phenomena. It was either an avalanche, a snow stab, or a hurricane. As some have pointed out though, if foul play was involved or something of a mysterious nature, it's not like officials are going to openly admit it, as all this would do is look bad on them. This has caused amateur researchers to conduct their own investigations into their case. Officials have said the most obvious explanation for what happened was that of an avalanche. However, when you start looking into the history of the area, it was reported there hadn't been an avalanche before, with locals and those that visited the region saying there's no history of avalanches that have been recorded, and certainly nothing that could cause humans any harm. Also, if there was an avalanche in the region, it would have happened at the exact points that the hikers were staying at, something that seems very unlikely. Another point is that when investigators started looking into possible causes, they found no evidence of there being an avalanche during the period which the hikers were on the mountain, and that the injuries the hikers sustained didn't line up with this theory. One of the issues with this statement is that it's still promoted heavily to this day, but when looking at the evidence it seems that this is actually one of the most unlikely causes for what happened. With this news it's only made some put forward the idea of a cover-up, and this brought in a wave of new theories about what actually happened to the hikers. One idea that doesn't get much attention is that the hikers were victims of escaped prisoners. There's been suggestions that war prisoners could have confronted the hikers, or accidentally been discovered by them and in a moment of panic lashed out. This may have been the only option for them at the time, as they would have rather attacked people they didn't know than be turned in to the Soviet authorities. The Yeti theory. Although some will roll their eyes at the idea of a large humanoid attacking the group, there's some individuals that have claimed to have witnessed these giant beings, and say they're rarely seen as they live deep within mountainous regions. Considering the fact that myths of Yeti-like creatures were known to exist all throughout the region, with beliefs that these creatures were capable of performing superhuman acts of strength, this has led many to believe that perhaps the group was attacked by a Yeti, and that their remains, injuries and crime scene was evidence of this attack. There is a famous photograph that was recovered from Nicole Brignoli's camera. Although some have deemed this photograph as fake, it is in fact genuine and was taken during their stay on the mountain. It's become known as Frame 17, and in the photo we can see what appears to be a large figure looking towards the hikers. This has only fueled theories that there was perhaps a mythical creature sharing the mountain with them during their stay, and that it could be behind the injuries the hikers sustained. Others have suggested though that it could have been one of the other members of the group, and Nikolai was just snapping a picture for the memory book. Not surprisingly though, scientists and researchers are not on board with this theory, and have said the deaths of these hikers had nothing to do with the paranormal, or other out there theories. There was reports of unidentified flying objects seen in the region before the hikers' discovery. Some amateur researchers have suggested that advanced crafts could have had a role in the hikers' demise. One of the things that investigators noticed when making their way to the camp was that there was damage to nearby trees. The damage was around 4 to 5 meters high, causing some to ask why there was damage to trees above their camp, and who was responsible for causing this. Due to this discovery, it's only fueled ideas that an unidentified flying object may have been hovering above their camp. The bodies were also found to have strange markings and holes on them, as if they'd been surgically removed using professional equipment. This in turn caused some to put forward the idea that some of the group may have been taken on board one of these crafts, and because the rest of the group was witness to this, they soon fled into the night, hoping to get away from whatever this craft was. Going back to the theory that prisoners were behind what happened, others have suggested that it could have been officials that caused the hikers to end up the way they did. Some researchers have said that officials may have been patrolling the area looking for the prisoners, but instead of finding their prisoners, they came across the hikers. This could have been a case of mistaken identity, with the hikers being in the wrong place at the wrong time. The officials could have used force, thinking that the individuals may have made a run for it. The bodies are well past their point of providing any reliable information regarding the incident, and the weathering of the season has changed the landscape beyond the point of recognition. It appears that even visiting the site in which the group had suffered the ill fate fails to yield any interesting results or possible causes of trauma. Though some might believe the Russian Yeti to have caused such injuries and ultimately the demise of the hikers, until evidence is gathered of such a creature, the Dyatlov incident will continue to be shrouded in mystery. As of today, it seems that many can't agree on what happened to the hikers during their last few hours. Whatever happened to them still remains a mystery, with cover-ups being put forward and possible evidence being tampered with. So what do you make of the Dyatlov Pass incident? Do you think the hikers were in the wrong place at the wrong time? Do you think they got stuck in a natural disaster? Or do you think something more mysterious unfolded? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.